Welcome to Raider Recap. I'm your host, Boss Martinez.
And co-host Matthew Plummer.
And this week, we're going to take a little bit of a turn and focus primarily on football as it's now homecoming week. So now, big matchup we have, O.D. Wyatt. We have a little bit of history with them before.
Yeah.
And just talk to me about how that is.
You know, the competition was always trying to figure out who was the best of the district between O.D. Wyatt or Southwest. I mean, it's been talked about before, you know, especially with getting prepared and getting used to, you know, passing schemes for offense and then getting used to, you know, having new guys for defense for this season. Mm-hmm. And, you know, all of that played a big part, especially getting prepared from summer to off season rather than what happened last year where we were completely unprepared and came straight to our very first game, not against ODY, but another team while even practicing for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I definitely see that. And a lot of people might be asking, like, top of 4th ISD. I mean, you look at Arlington Heights, who did get second in district. But now looking at this year when they suffered a lot of injuries, they just haven't played up to their potential from last year. So you can really see how big this game really is for homecoming. And what a decision there by Phillip Tanner to just make homecoming such a big game and such a big rivalry that we've seen before.
Yeah, the thing was last year was that we definitely wanted an opponent, you know, to kind of strike up, you know, hype for, you know, certain events, especially certain weeks, especially for homecoming and, you know, special games like that. And I would say this clearly is that the game last year with ODY, it felt not cheated, but we should have won that game because even when it was so close, it was like, we'll get it next time, get it back. And definitely that's what Phillip Tanner's plan was, you know, for this season to just go against ODY. Now, it wasn't really expected to have ODY, you know, come off with so many injuries, but that just gives us more of an advantage of for that night. And I think it's unfortunate we won't be able to go out of, you know, full force, you know, as they're 100% because they're, you know, missing guys and they're relying on different people to go on for offense. And, you know, we'll just use that to the best of our abilities and take advantage for that night. Yeah,
let's take a look at how O.D. Wyatt's team stacks up now. They're 3-0, and looking at the game against Joshua, they won that 17-10.
Yeah.
So that's by one score, but we had a similar result. So you can definitely see similar teams right there. And then, like you were saying, I mean, go on about the injuries.
Well, yeah, definitely. All I was hearing was just talk of QBs, you know, and, you know, the O-line coming off injured and stuff like that. I mean, still being able to play, but still coming off with, you know, kind of strains and stuff like that. And so definitely, you know, coming off for this night, they're going to get hurt again.
Yeah, and looking at this isn't a new matchup. We've seen them last year. Last year's result lost 7-6. Right. What a big matchup. And you could see O.D. Wyatt, after winning this game, they continued and they ended up making playoffs as a result.
Right.
Now, we get an opportunity to do the same and get an opportunity to prove how good of a team we are and being able to go forward with this. It's going to be such an exciting game.
Definitely. As you explained, you know, they coming out 3-0 and us, you know, 1-2. I think it was all just the difference between matchups. I mean, we've done our best to get warm and, you know, to already prepare, especially before the weeks. And, you know, coming from the close games, you know, it was just between fair matchups, and it was just, you know, a whole different ball game from what we experienced last year. But definitely all respect to the teams we faced between Waco, Joshua, and Wilmer Hudson's. I mean, they played really well, but we could have done better. Especially even when we came off the win against Joshua, we could have done extremely better, and I think we could have beat them to sleep. And I say the matchups as O.D. Wyatt faced is not going to be different. It's not going to be the same as facing us. It won't be the same.
And now let's take a look with a key interview with Coach Phillip Tanner as he gears up for homecoming now. And then right after that, Raylan Carter, as he talks about how his homecoming game for the third straight year on varsity, how that stacks up. Hello, I'm here with Coach PT, Southwest Raiders head coach. Now coming off that bye week, what were some things you told players and got them prepared for the rest of the season?
The biggest thing as far as coming off the bye week was how we went into the bye week, going in with a win, being able to pull off a close one against Joshua. And then just going into the bye week with that, be able to rest up a lot of players, but going in with some confidence. Coming off a win is big going into the bye week, allowing the guys to taste that success, but also go back and look at the things we need to work on. So that was the biggest thing for the bye week, resting up guys that were kind of banged up or injured, getting those guys healthy, but then also just going back and critiquing ourselves for the first 3 weeks, being very critical of ourselves, sitting down as a coaching staff, looking at our tendencies, figuring out what we can do better as a coaching staff to continue putting our players in a position to succeed. We also went back as if it was all off season, working on individuals, fundamentals, technique, all the little things that can either help you win ball games or help you lose ball games.
Looking at how last year went, you guys were very successful in non-district, went 3-0. Yeah. And then this game against Wyatt, it all kind of seemed to struggle. What's the difference that you think is going to be for this year?
I think the biggest difference is just mindset, perspective, and also the time on task. Last year we went in rolling and didn't have an off season. To jump out in non-district like that was truly surprising to me. It's surprising to me, and it has its pros and cons. We still wasn't playing clean football. We was finding a way to win football games, and I think it came back to haunt us. Because the same thing that we was finding a way to win, we was finding a way to lose. Start the district games, and I tell guys all the time, it's about district play. Those first 3 games is just fact-finding missions. Whether you go 3-0, whether you go 0-3, it really doesn't matter. And I think those guys understand it. They had a different look in their eyes against Joshua. So coming out of non-district 1-2, which really doesn't matter because the season starts now. I think it's split up between 3 seasons. You got your non-district, you got district, and then, of course, you got, playoffs and real football after that. So those guys just understanding how a season works, what a season looks like. I think they're more mentally prepared. The mindset is much better now going into district this year than it was last year.
Now looking at the homecoming game this week, from last year it was Triple Tech, now it's OD Wyatt. Want to see if that was your own choice or...
It was definitely my choice, and I have much respect to OD Wyatt as well as Coach Chris, the head coach over there. However, when I first came in, I'm noticing that, I kept hearing OD Wyatt, OD Wyatt, OD Wyatt. So my biggest thing is being able to unite the entire city of Fort Worth. And I think with these 2 teams here at Southwest and then OD Wyatt and then the history behind the teams and then just the fan support on both sides, man, having a great football game on a Saturday afternoon is appreciative to the city of Fort Worth. It's a great thing and beneficial for the entire city of Fort Worth as well as the district to have 2 of the top teams in the district go ahead and clash on homecoming and things like that. And I just think it brings a different morale. I think it brings a tone, a different mindset, and those guys just being able to go out on homecoming and have alumni come back, and those guys just go out and play good football.
All right, now moving on, I'm here with Raylan Carter, star defensive end, and a threat on offense as well. Now looking into homecoming and now starting district, OD Wyatt, you guys have some history with them from last year. Yeah. What does this game mean?
It means a lot. Since I've been here my freshman year, we lost to Wyatt by 3 points, and last year we lost to them by 4. So I feel like it's a statement game. Like, it's a must-win game. I don't really feel like they respect us as a team because how the game ended up turning out. But I feel like this year we're more coordinated, a better team. It's like I said, it's a statement game. They're like, we got to win this football game to show them, like, we're a good team also. Don't doubt us.
Mm-hmm. I talked to Coach Phillip Tanner as well. He changed the homecoming from Trimble Tech explicitly to OD Wyatt just because of that history. Has he talked to you about this or as a team as to how much faith he has with you guys in this game?
Yeah, he talked to us about how much faith he had, but he didn't tell us until later. I didn't think he wanted us to worry about it too much. I feel like more so he trusts us, though. I know why he did it. I know exactly why he did it. I know he wants us to, have this statement game and it be big and for us to win. I think he changed it because he believed in us. I feel like he changed it because he know we can beat the odds.
So looking from that, if you guys go on and win this game, what does that prove?
we're the best team in Fort Worth. That's what it proves. It's always Southwest versus ODY. Who's the best team in Fort Worth? And I feel like this year will for sure be why. I feel like we're the better team this year.
Now you can catch Raylan Cotter and the rest of your Southwest Raiders for our homecoming game against ODY at Clark Stadium Saturday morning at 11 a.m. See you there. Now coming back from the interview, there's one last thing I want to add before we wrap up. Last year, we struggled after non-district and into that first game against ODY. It kind of set a standard for us that made us not perform at our potential last year. I mean, as a football player, kind of add on to that.
Yeah, it was a plummet where after our loss with Joshua, just everything just went out of order. And, like morale was down. Even when we came off, 3 games and 4 win. But just after facing Joshua, everything went, extremely disorganized. Players were missing out on, training, and we were just still disorganized. Especially, I mean, even then when we were still kind of accustomed, since it would be, us winning those 3 games and then coming into that loss with Joshua, definitely. Even when we had those weeks in with those coaches to actually get to, know them a little bit more, we still believe that it took more time just to get used to them.
And it really puts big stakes onto this homecoming game. This is all for it. Once again, I'm Boss Martinez.
And Matthew Plummer.
And this has been your homecoming preview. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.